Hey everybody, welcome back to the Armed Scotsman. Today on the table we have a Sons of Liberty Gunworks Mark 1 Recce. Let's get this one going. Alright folks, as I said, this is the Mark 1 from Sons of Liberty Gunworks. This is the new rifle SOCOM has chosen recently. Actually, I think it was the 11.5, and this is the 14.5 pin and welded. But either way, it was chosen for SOCOM through the CAR program, so I thought we would get it in and see what the big deal is. Okay, so first thing you'll notice when you pick this up, it is light. It comes in at 6.85 ounces. It's noticeably light. Like, it's a lot lighter than a lot of AR-15s out there. But yeah, all right, let's start at the back. We'll make our way forward, go through the features of the gun, and then we'll talk about shooting it and some accuracy tests and things like that. All right, so at the back, mag pull stock, nice rubber butt pad, OG sling attachments, QD sling attachments, and it obviously is adjustable. It locks up pretty well. There's only a tiny little bit of movement in that, and I like when my stocks really lock up and don't make a noise, and this one's pretty dang good. Below this stock is a A5 buffer system, so it has 9 positions adjustable for 9 positions, and then it has a Voltar buffer and buffer spring in there. It really helps smooth out the system for recoil. It's such a smooth gun. It's got your Sons of Liberty Gunworks stamped down there, and then you have a QD end plate here, there, and then on the castle nut, the staking looks great, no problems there. It's been staked twice. Then you have another Sons of Liberty logo right there. Moving along, you have your ambidextrous charging handle. It's pretty decent. I think there is better ones out there, but this one is not too shabby. Again, you can see it's got the Sons of Liberty marks on it there. And then you'll notice also it has it's going to be hard to see, but it has a lip at the end here. It matches up with the receiver here, and that's to help make gases come back into your face if you're shooting this suppressed. Okay, upper and lower receiver are billet. You have your forward assist here. It has been pushed forward to they're basically trying to keep it clear of the charging handle, and a lot of other companies are doing this also nowadays, so that has been pushed forward. You have your brass deflector, your dust cover. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you have your Badger Ordnance ambi safety set at 90 degrees right now, but you can change that to 45 degrees if you want to. Then you have a B5 grip on the bottom. You have a curved trigger guard. It cannot be changed. It's all one piece. You have a flared out mag well, which is nice. You have your mag release here. And then you have your bolt catch and release right here. It's oversized, kind of reminds me of the Geisley Maritime bolt catch, and it's fenced in to protect it and stop. They said that to stop like slings when you have an oversized catch like this, it's easy to get like slings kind of caught in there, and this is what this fencing is for, to kind of protect that so that doesn't get in there or to accidentally bump it or something like that. And it has the enhanced fencing around the mag release also on this side. A couple of things you're going to notice. It's not completely ambidextrous, and a lot of people are kind of saying for this price point that seems kind of crazy. Why does it not have that? Well, the reason is this is the rifle that was given to SOCOM. I mean, essentially, well, they have the giggle switch, we don't, right? But essentially, this is the same rifle. And at their request, it's not completely ambidextrous, right? So this is a clone version, perfect clone version of that gun, and so there's no ambidextrous bolt catch and release or extra mag release on this side. Again, that is how the contract wanted it. So if you're looking for a completely ambidextrous gun, this is not for you. So yeah, just bear that in mind. Is it a big deal? No. Do I see where people are coming from the price point? Yeah. Again, it comes down to just what you need, right? And what you want. The dust cover, I think it is gaudy. Now, again, I understand why this is here, right? So again, this is essentially the gun that SOLGW gets when this sits in an armament, and they go in and they're looking for a 5.56, and they want to make sure. They just have to look at the dust cover, because it could say 300 blackout, or it could be 6 arc, or whatever. So I understand why it's on there and on the inside, right? So I get it. I do not like it as a civilian. I mean, unless you want to keep it correct, I would personally replace that. Now, when it comes to replacing it, you don't have to take off your handguard or anything like that. There's a rod that goes all the way back to here, and that way you can take it. So you just have to essentially just pop your pin, and you can take the rod out that way. It's so much easier if you want to switch that out. So that was a really smart design. Not that we change our dust cover super often, but I thought that was a pretty smart, innovative way of just making life easier for changing a part out if you wanted to. So the other thing to talk about is this is a gray anodized gun, okay? So the handguard is perfect, the lower is perfect, but this upper receiver definitely has a green tint to it, and it's pretty noticeable. I did hit up Sons of Liberty Gunworks, and I asked them about it, and said, yeah, with anodization, depending on like the material that's getting anodized, it can look like this. So if you're looking for a perfect gray gun, you might not get it. I just want to make you aware of that, because this is literally looks two-tone, even though it's supposed to be gray, just because of the anodization. So just be aware of that. That could be something that you run into. I don't particularly love that it looks like it's two-tone or it's got that green tint to it. I understand that it happens, but just, again, I'm just trying to make you aware of everything. So yeah. Okay, so when I was looking at the reviews online, people had said, oh, the tolerances are so tight, there's no play between the upper and lower receiver. And I'm like, sweet. So let's do the wiggle test and check this one out. So it's good, but there's definitely play in there. Again, it's not a big deal. It doesn't really affect the gun in any kind of way. People just like to have those tight tolerances, but that definitely has a little bit of wiggle in there, and on my sample size of 1. Okay, let's touch base on the trigger. Again, I watch a lot of reviews. I try to see what people are saying, and then kind of checking that out, seeing if it's true, giving you my thoughts and things like that. People say this is a 2-stage trigger, 4.5 pounds. People say it reminds them of a Geisley trigger, or very like a Geisley trigger. So let's check that out. So you got a little bit of take up, your 2.5 pound take up, or 2 pound take up, you're at the wall. Nice break. Reset, positive, and tactile. Now, don't get me wrong, it's a nice 2-stage trigger. There's no questions about that. However, is it as nice as my Geisley SSAE triggers? No, they are still a lot better in my opinion. This is still a very good trigger, very good 2-stage trigger. But I'm just trying to make everything clear so you guys try to have a really good understanding of what you're getting. All right, let's move on up to the rail. You have a pick rail the whole way along the top here. It's pretty interesting how they've done this. They've got this channel cutting all the way down for cable management, which I think is really smart. And then the corners around where the cables would go, or maybe a zip tie, they've actually rounded them off. So it's not gonna, if you had a cable and it was constantly rubbing against a sharp piece, you could maybe cut into the wire or cut your zip tie. They've rounded that off to try and make sure that doesn't happen, which I think is it's a small detail, but I think it's really a smart detail. Okay, there's T markings all the way along, up and down here as well, engraved on your pick rail. You've got some lightning cuts to help vent, keep things cool under here. As I say, when you pick this up, you'll notice how light it is. Okay, right here we have the drive lock system, and it's how the handguard attaches to the receiver. So they have 2 steel rods that basically go this way. And so when you slide on the handguard, those steel rods slip into the upper receiver, and then you have your anti-rotation. The machining is great on this. You get 2 anti-rotation tabs that are built in to the handguard and the upper receiver, so it's all smooth. And then you have your 3 bolts and nuts connecting down here. There's no way, I can't imagine a possible way that this could ever rotate when it's on like that, which is great. If you're running a laser or something up here, you want to make sure this handguard is not going to rotate. And I think this is one of the most rigid setups I've ever seen, other than going full monolithic upper. I think that's really impressive. Now, underneath this part here, we have an extended titanium barrel nut, and it's coated in some space age material. It's used for dispersing heat and keeping that heat down. And then what they've done is they've got vents on either side, below and on top, to help vent and keep this barrel nut cool. And in keeping this cool, it keeps the handguard from warming up so fast. And let me tell you, I mag dumped and I shot a lot of rounds, maybe 100 to 150, in a pretty quick succession, because I was trying to heat this up to see if it was true, because as I say, this design is supposed to keep this handguard cool. And bear in mind, I was shooting on a cold, rainy day, but the handguard did not heat up. I could feel the heat down here a little bit when my hand was down here, but the actual handguard up here, it did not warm up. It was pretty incredible. Yeah, kind of cool. All right, so moving on. This was one of the most interesting things I thought about the Mark 1 when I saw it. I was like, this looks really interesting. I'm going to either love this or hate it. And it's the laser etching around on this handguard. And let me tell you, great. It's really, really cool. It's so grippy, but it's not too grippy. Like when I get my hand on there, put a C-clamp on there, my hand's stuck. It's like glued. Usually I would put on like a vertical foregrip because I like to push my hand in and push it into my shoulder. I don't think you would even need to do that with this because it's so grippy. I really, really, really like this laser engraving, and I know it's probably time consuming and expensive for them to do it, but I love it. I wish my handguards and all my other AR-15s had this. It's really, really great. I think it's my favorite part about this rifle, which is crazy, but it's super, super cool. It's super, super nice. I'm a massive, massive fan of that. Okay, so this is the beginning of the video. The barrel, 14.5 inch with a Huxworks flash hider at the front here. It's pin and welded, making it overall a length of 16 inches, which makes it a non-NFA item. It's a 4150 steel barrel, chrome lined with a mid-length gas system. The muzzle at the front here is not the typical 1/2 by 28, it's 5/8 by 24. So bear that in mind if, for whatever reason, if you get the 11.5 inch and you want to switch out to the muzzle device, it's not your typical 1/2 by 28. They do offer a stainless steel barrel. And they just have P3 rifling in the barrel as well. They do a stainless steel barrel as another option. Which is for accuracy. It's a little more accurate what this will be. Stainless steel barrels typically will wear out faster than a barrel like this. There's another material they're using, I can't remember the name of it. It doesn't seem like it's available to us, and I don't know if it's only available to the military or if it's coming available to us down the line, I don't know. But I'm not going to talk about it since it's not available. So you got those options, and then you have two color options. You have the black and you have the gray for the gun also. All right. There's a lot to go over, and I'm sure I've missed stuff. The fit and finish is exquisite. Again, other than like the color of the anodizing, and I get it happens. It's not a fault. It's just how it is. That's just, you know, luck of the draw. The fit and finish is beautiful. So very nice. Inside with the bolt carrier group, it's got some updated gas keys, and the staking looks incredible. And it's also coated in MP3 as well. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Let's talk about shooting the gun. I'm through over 400 rounds on easily, maybe even more, over 400 rounds on the gun. It's a super smooth shooter with that mid-length gas system and the Voltor A5 system back here. Very, very smooth shooting gun, no problems whatsoever. But let's check out the 100-yard range, and let's talk about the results. All right, let's go ahead and check out these results. I did 2 rounds of 5 shots each. And the second thing is, I would say I'm a fair shooter. I think there's a lot better shooters out there than me. So take this with a pinch of salt. You might get much better results than me, or worse. But just kind of take this as what it is. Okay, so this was PMC. This one technically doesn't count. This is 55 grain. All these shots are 100 yards except this one, where this one was at 50 yards, so that technically this one doesn't count. But even still, this one really surprised me the most, because I've heard that the Mark 1 prefers the heavier loads. I don't think this is terrible, 100 yards for 55 grain PMC. You're probably talking about 2 MOA, maybe a little less. There's just a quarter there for reference. So I don't think that's too bad from the PMC at all. Now, the arm score is 62 grain. This has got, I don't know what happened here, but this is terrible. And again, I'm a fair shooter and there's no way I shot that bad. So I don't know what happened here, but this happens at another time. And again, I don't think it's anything to do with the gun. I don't know if it's just the ammo or whatever, but the second round here wasn't that great either. You can see here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So quarter down. So, I mean, you're talking between here and here is probably 3.5 MOA. That's terrible. But again, I don't know if it was just the ammo or if the gun just doesn't like the ammo. I do not know. So I didn't do particularly well with the 62 grain. Okay, with this is the Frontier 75 grain from Hornady. This was the first grouping, which I would say is about 2 MOA. And there's a quarter, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, in case you have trouble seeing them. So there's the 5. I'd say that's about the 2 MOA at the widest part. So that was okay in the first shot. In the second round, it was very similar. It's about, from the widest point, it's about 2 MOA, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it did okay with Frontier. And that's those. Okay, moving on to AAC 77 grain. This one blew my mind in the first, because this was 1, 2, 3. I don't even know where the other 2 went. Again, I'm not that bad of a shooter, okay? I have no idea what the heck happened on the first go-around. On the second round, we got some pretty good results. Now, obviously, I told you I like to do 2 rounds, because if I have a bad round, which I still don't think I was that bad for... Anyway, I don't know what happened there. But this is the second round. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're probably looking about 2 MOA at the widest point. There's a quarter, just to give you guys reference there. So, did okay. I would say, okay, not terrible, not great. So this is a hand load, my friend does, and so I thought I'd try this one out. This was a flyer, so there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I would say, again, you're looking at 1 3/4 max MOA with that one to here. And these were obviously grouped a little tighter. This is round 2. Let me put my quarter up here so you guys get, again, the reference. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one definitely looks like it widened the group up quite a bit. So there to there is probably 2 MOA, there to there is probably 1.5 MOA, and then this little group is under MOA. But overall, it didn't grip super tight. And again, could be me, could be the ammo, could be the gun. So here's Black Hills. This was 77 grain ammo, and as you expect, Black Hills is very expensive, very good ammo. Do ignore this one, please. So this was the first round, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These ones keyholed. There's my quarter. You're looking at about just over 1 MOA, maybe 1.5 MOA from point to point here. These grouped under half MOA right here. And then on the second round, this one's a flyer, and I knew as soon as I shot it that I pulled it, but I tightened it up quite a bit in the second round, where this is definitely under 1 MOA. My quarter will actually cover it, like so. So that is under 1 MOA. Okay, so can I talk about the results? I think that, you know, they do claim that you can get excellent accuracy out of this gun. I think obviously it depends on the shooter and it depends on the ammo. We've proven you can with the Black Hills, which is, you know, very good ammo, that you're capable of getting under 1 MOA at 100 yards. So I think with the right type of ammo, yeah, this is an extremely accurate gun. Just like most guns, it just, you know, it likes certain ammo, it doesn't like others. This definitely liked that Black Hills. Again, and I'm sure people will get better results than me also. All right, folks, that is pretty much it for me. Again, I've kind of gone over everything. I think it's a great gun. It's very expensive. It's a very expensive gun. Is it right for you? I don't know, because it is really up there with a lot of pricey guns. One of the things that I should probably mention, because I see a lot of complaints about this, Sons of Liberty Gunworks doesn't essentially make anything, and again, they might make some specific parts in-house, but the majority of their parts are outsourced from obviously really good companies to their specs, which they get back in, and then obviously they assemble them and they QC them, and they're really known for their quality control, and apparently they have an amazing warranty. So they don't essentially. They're not essentially doing anything in-house, as I say. It's from us. They get it in and they assemble it. I just want to make sure people are aware of that too. It doesn't bother me, and I don't care if a company outsources, gets the parts made to their specs and gets them in. As long as I'm getting a fantastic rifle, I don't care. But that handguard, that's so nice. Anyway, that is it for me. Any questions, any comments, please ask below. Happy to help out however I can. And that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.